We are here in Porto Roche on Digital Marketing Conference with Vanja Mlaco from Transavia, and we are going to speak about conversion rate optimization and how to build a successful conversion rate optimization program in an airline environment. So, Vanja, really glad to be here.
Thank you for having me.
Can you a little bit introduce yourself and what you do, just quickly?
Yes, I can. So I'm Vanja Mlaco. I do conversion rate optimization for Transavia already for 2 years. We started with no testing at all, and now we test for 1,000 tests a year. And we're more and more focusing also on different channels. So how can you perform tests on voice and on chatbots, etc.
Thank you. So before we go into how you do it or how you build this culture you set in these 2 years, maybe because the review when we did this first airline conversion optimization survey, we found out that a lot of airlines are not doing it at all yet and not testing, not doing the whole CRO process. Maybe just what would be your advice why they should do it at all?
So when we started out with CRO, it was really hard to get traction because we're the best developers, we're the best tools, we're the best designers. So it was hard telling them maybe you're doing your job wrong, or at least so they say it. So it can be really negative from their side if you say, okay, we have some improvements. But when you start doing the experiments and when you involve them into the beginning of the experiments, you can see that it quickly catches up. And at the moment that you show great results, that's when everybody is happy and you get more traction in the organization.
Yeah, I see. So you were talking about the journey, about this 2-year journey, and to me it's amazing that it only took 2 years. And I think you are one of the most knowledgeable CRO people in the airline industry. But reflecting back on this journey, the 2 years, where do you think it was the key point, or what was the key turning point, the switch that you knew that the journey was going to be successful?
Yeah, so like I said earlier, nobody can argue with results. So it's really important to start small and to start showing results and to show that the effort you put into CRO is quickly paid back. Because at the end of the day, people are quickly convinced by money and by financial results, and you also have to talk the right language with the right person. So you have to convince the designers that this is an opportunity for them to do more designing and to create better UX. And for customer service, you have to design them. You're creating a better user experience for them. So you have to talk the right language with the right person.
So, in your experience, was it more difficult to get the management buy-in or buy-in, or was it more difficult to get, like you said, the developers and the designers because they're so used to do it in the classical way?
Yeah, so I think it was harder for the management buy-in because you ask for amount of money, and when they ask you, okay, but what will I get in return? You say, I don't know, because the tests need to be done yet. So I know what I need, but I don't know what I'll give you in the back. So also there you need to see, okay, can I do any experiments without any budget? You need to prove that there is money in it and that there is improvement of user experience. And then you can convince them to get a budget. I would also like to stress that although conversion optimization will earn you a lot of money, foremost you should focus on a better user experience, and the user experience will then bring you more money.
Yeah, I think this is also one of the things that we identified in our research, is that the organizations that are really successful at CRO, they're one that are about user experience, user centricity, not the classical growth hacking, A/B testing, looking for quick hacks. Yeah. So one other thing, when we were talking about this journey, we had both similar experience of coming to work in an airline with more than a 50-year tradition. And what we talked about previously was that this mindset, especially from the legacy airline with a long history, is very operational. Not risk-taking was always prohibited, basically. And testing is about risk-taking and experimentation. How do you see this cultural change or fit?
Yeah, a very good question. So what you said is that all about risk taking, all about experiments. So the essence of A/B testing CRO is that you learn. So the essence should not be okay. We start this project to make money. It should be about learning, and those learnings will bring you better financial results. So it's important to from the start make sure that although there will be A/B test winners and better revenue, etc., that you make sure that the A/B test and the CRO process is optimized for learning, and that making mistakes is okay. So if I know that I've made this mistake and that I do not invest in making this into a development because I won't build anything which is a negative A/B test, then I've saved money. So making mistakes is good.
Yeah, that's a great message. Going back to user centricity, in your presentation today, you shared a great story about how you basically change the whole perception and how you start including or putting user in the first in the center of your things, and how you took your whole development e-commerce team to the airport. Can you just sum up the story quickly and tell especially airline people out there that are starting with this why this was such a good success story?
So what we started off with is that we saw that our mobile experience was lacking in experience. So we wanted to create a better mobile experience for a customer. And usually, what people do is they look at other companies and copy them, or they think up their own experiments and think, okay, we know the best. The answer is that the probability that your competition knows is also quite low. So maybe they don't even know what they're doing. The second, you of all people don't even know. The one who knows is your customer. Try to involve your customer from the beginning. Try to ask them what their needs are, and try to see how you can fulfill their needs as soon as possible. Because if someone leaves your website and does not buy your product, then it means that you're not relevant enough for that moment. So be relevant and try to listen to your customers.
Okay, yeah, I think it's a great example. And one other thing, I think, when I talk to you and I really see that you have this great passion for this topic, and what I like also is when you check your title is a CRO coach. It's not like a fancy e-commerce director, manager, but a coach. And I think also having sessions like this to educate people on the topic, especially in the airline industry, where we are sometimes small to pick up some new stuff. Tell me, what is the essence of being a good coach and being a good trainer for your team?
Yeah, so what I try to do every day is to look with my team in things that make them happy. Because when my team members do things that make them happy, they do good and they do it often. So I can force someone to do things they don't like, but the results will be bad for everybody. So I try to see really where the essence of their happiness lies and to multiply that every day.
Thank you. That's certainly true. So maybe for the end, you want to tell something to the Digging Trail audience or other people, something about Transavia, and even more something about digital team, what kind of people you're recruiting, you're training, because to me it seems like a great environment to work for. Yeah.
Exactly. So Transavia has more and more tried now to involve the customers in the things they do. We're trying to create a great user experience by innovating. So we are looking always for good people and data scientists, data specialists, UX designers. So if you are looking for a great opportunity, just contact me.
Okay. Thank you very much, Vanja Mlaco, coach, CRO coach at Transavia, one of the greatest minds of the CRO in the airline industry. And keep in touch and follow Digging Trail for more conversion optimization topics.